Vital City is committed to publishing some of today's more unusual voices in a way that nobody else is. They've even given me the chance to host a podcast with them, and while I'm pretty boring myself, I'm doing my absolute best to further the cause by looking a little bit beyond my own nose for guests. This is the exact right time for Vital City. Our city needs every ounce of clear thinking, smart policy, and political savvy presented in a voice that people can understand. Thank you for giving me the chance to honor my great friends at Vital City, and I welcome them here.
Thank you, Jamie. I have to say I feel a little bit a fish out of water. My background is in public safety, and there are essentially 4 of us in the city of New York, and we've all grown up together. So before this, I asked Jamie to give me just a quick tutorial on housing and what it's all about. And he told me about the sections, a lot of sections, 8 and 9. He told me about all the letters, ULURP, the 5 most terrifying letters in the English language. He told me all of you are housers. But I have to say, it wasn't until the doors swung open that I realized that you guys are kind of the Academy Awards, and in public safety, we're kind of repertory theater. So I'm just incredibly honored to accept this award on behalf of Vital City and my co-conspirators, Josh Greenman and Greg Berman. And what Jamie didn't mention is that he has a fantastic podcast with us called After Hours. If you want to hear Jamie's kind of lounge singer voice, that's where you should go. But I have to say I was also a little surprised because we did start out in life as a public safety journal, and I'm pretty sure that CHPC isn't really focused on that. So when I got the call from Howard, I thought, oh yeah, this is a joke, there's been a mix-up. But on second thought, I thought, no, wait, this makes total sense because Vital City and CHPC actually have a lot in common. We started Vital City about 4 years ago and motivated really by a pretty simple desire to improve governance in New York City, which sounds simple, but anyone who's spent time doing the unglamorous, under the sink with a wrench work of actually trying to run the city knows that it's anything but simple. And to do it right, you need data about what's working and what isn't. You need to be open to good ideas, no matter where they come from. You need to steel yourself to trade-offs and compromise. Government, maybe democracy, is the world of second-best choices. And so we built Vital City to be a place where knowledge could live and breathe and be useful. Not a traditional think tank, not a newspaper, but some hybrid we haven't quite figured out the name for, so Don Draper's in the audience, please see me afterwards. But a policy venture that takes seriously and honors how hard it is to govern well, that trusts readers to handle complexity and brings together people across a broad political spectrum. And if that sounds familiar to you, it should. Because CHPC blazed that path in 1937, and it's been delivering ever since. So I'm not an expert, obviously, in housing policy, but I know this self-evident truth, that decent housing is the central strut in building a productive life. But housing in New York is a wicked problem. Whether it's building enough to outrun that terrifying vacancy number or trying to solve the especially complicated problem of housing people who have lived on the street, often for years. Solving the housing problem touches every kind of urban conundrum, not just wending your way through ULURP and permitting and other delightful rules and regulations that are denser and more opaque than Heidegger, Hegel, pick your favorite German philosopher, but also the joys and complications of design and architecture, the sometimes villainy of politics and money, the perplexities of culture, and so much more. And you can't understand, you can't solve housing without understanding all that. And that's what CHPC does, is lead the way to policy through understanding. And at Vital City, we talk a lot about the fact that safety is rooted in civic vitality. A lively and safe neighborhood isn't just about a well-run precinct, it's about how the streets look and feel. It's about what you do with vacant lots, park where people actually want to sit. And housing is an essential ingredient to a healthy city. And when we fail to build enough or to preserve what we have or to make it genuinely affordable, we're not just failing to solve an economic problem, but we're making our city more fragile and less vital. So I just want to say thank you so much, not just for this award, but for the example that CHPC sets and for the decades of careful and independent research, for the willingness to say true things that are sometimes hard to hear, and for the conviction that policy, even when, and especially when it's slow and technical, that it matters. So CHPC is 88 years of rigor, institutional knowledge, moral heft. Vital City is a handful of people in a room with laptops and a shared belief that while New York's is the greatest city, it can also be better. And so we're honored to stand in the company of all of you today.